brothers decide to change the game. This year, see the podcast that everyone's calling amazing, Blacker Than Black.
To the artist for artists.
To artist for artist.
This is the Artist for Artist podcast.
What is going on? Welcome to the Artist for Artists podcast, where we are giving you guys a look into our journey, our lives, our moments, our history, and just our views on everything creative, everything music, everything entertainment. It may not be correct, but it's our views. And we are here, huh? And I'm excited, especially about this episode, because I am able to now introduce the full squad. And for those of you who was at my event, you guys are able to at least see them and meet them, but now I'm excited that it's happening. We are here. I got my guys with me. And man, first of all, before I even get into any history about these guys, I'm going to introduce this one dude, okay? I don't even know where to start. Let's see. He's worked with the Knicks. He's worked with the Rangers, and we're not talking about power. Huh? We're talking about hockey. Okay, he's worked with the Nets, brand consultant, master of ceremony, everything you could think of, DJ, rapper. I'm talking about my boy CJ Michael,
Sir.
a.k.a. Now, if you hear me call this man Corey, mind your business.
Yeah, mind your business. That's
Mind
not
your
for you.
business, all right? But we're talking to CJ over here. CJ, thank you so much, man, for being a part, bro.
Oh man, it's light, man. You got me come out. You know, I mean, if you my friend, you know I talk a lot. So, podcast is right where I need to be.
Well, listen, it's about to happen. It's about to happen. And let me tell you, man, you really don't realize, like, when you first meet people, how close you can become in a short amount of time. And when I met this dude, it's maybe not even a year yet. Maybe not even a year yet.
Not even.
And we really just clicked and connected. And this dude, just from everything he has going on, just enterprise account executive, all right? Handling brands and partnerships and everything for iHeart out here, headquarters out here in New York. My boy Hennessy is with
Yes,
us.
sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, brother. Thank you for having me, my man.
Man, this is going to be amazing. This is going to be dope. I'm excited that these guys are here. Like I said, I did an event before, and with this podcast, it was something I did during the pandemic, but now I felt like just to expand it and do more so on a video podcast and bring some friends of mine who inspired me pretty much every time I go on Instagram, because there's so much other stuff on it. And sometimes I'll get up in the morning and I'll see Hennessy just do something inspiring on his story, have a post up, or talk about maybe something that he's experienced, or just kind of like his lifestyle. So it's been cool to watch him and inspiring to watch him. Corey being a father, CJ being a father.
Daddy CJ.
You know what I mean? Pops over here. You wouldn't even know it, but you are, I guess, with the hat.
It's the hat.
Definitely the hat.
It's definitely the hat.
It's the hat.
It's hard, though.
You know what I mean?
Definitely giving.
Because ain't nobody else going to wear this hat but you, bro.
And I'm gonna take it. That's
This
why I
hat
wear
is
it.
dope.
Right.
Nah. We got it. I know.
What about you, bro? Like,
Yeah.
I hear you talk about us with all this inspiring
For real.
and doing stuff, but personally, I always tell you, when I go to your stories, I feel like I need to catch up. When I go to your things, I always feel like I have to catch up. Speaking of which, like, you got Love out now, right? A
Finally.
single Love. You have
Finally.
it out. So let's
Finally.
it was dope. Henny,
Thanks, man.
I love it. It's like it's soothed. Like, I will put that on for my kids, because right now my kids listen to smooth jazz
Okay.
when they go
Very
to
nice.
bed, right? But like last night, I actually put on your single to see if it works, and
it worked?
along with the kids' melatonin,
Yeah.
everything worked out well. But it was
That
soothing.
combo.
Yeah,
It's a killer
it was
combo,
soothing.
huh?
But tell us how that project started.
Man, honestly, it's just been a concept that I've been working on for a minute now. I've been singing for a long time, and we talked about this before in the other episode, but with this particular project, I wanted to present myself in a different way. I'm really big on just songs that display emotions. Like, one of my favorite songwriters is Babyface.
That makes sense.
I would listen to a Babyface song any day.
That's on brand.
Ooh, listen, all right? This is my favorite songwriter, and I've always just been really involved when it came down to like old school songs, Motown songs that really had something to say about love and being inspired and
The
even
world we live in.
just like all of that type of stuff. And I just feel like right now it's not there.
It's needed.
It's needed.
It's needed.
It's needed. And it's there. It's there. I'm not gonna say it's not there. It's there, but it's not enough. I feel like.
I agree with that.
And I just find myself always going to what I am just familiar with and the things that made me happy. But I wanted to create that for myself too and in my music. So I just went to Jay and Charles and told them I'm ready to kind of create and start working on some new things. And it was a challenge because I've always just done other stuff. So, you know what I mean? Coming back into my own and getting into my own feelings and my own emotions and stuff was a little challenging. But we came up with Love, and yeah, all my music is just real easy listening. I love that about my music. Like, it's not gonna be the ones you may just pop off at the club, but if you driving and you're on, you know, on a good little destination, pop my music out, man, and it'll take you.
See, but that's one of the biggest things I want to say when I actually heard the track myself is that, and you can agree with this too, Henny, is there was a time in music when, you know, something dropped, and because of the emotion and because of the care that was put into it, you can remember, even at my age now, if you say something from the 90s or whatever that dropped, I can remember exactly what I was doing at that very moment.
Exactly.
When it happened. And kudos to you for that placement with this song too, because forever now, moving forward, I'm gonna remember me playing it for my children now too, right? With the melatonin, right? But you know, but what I do want to say about it, which I appreciated also, was the space that you gave and you allowed in the song for us to live in the song with you. And it wasn't, you know, a lot of times, you know, we getting bar after bar, everything is this, and we don't get to sit with it. You know what I mean? So having that, especially on the R&B side, you know, we need that again, because you know, sorry, my black women, I know, all my women, I know. Some of us are crazy now because of the music, but I appreciate that, and I just want to say that.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you. NEC, what's going on, bro?
What's goody?
How you feeling, man?
Man, I'm feeling great. It's long anticipated.
Yeah.
Happy to be here. Got my boy CJ.
Yeah.
Got my boy Jay.
Yeah.
Happy to be here, man.
Man, dude, like, even just being here, you know, even just talking about the music with Love, like, that was something that was definitely new for me.
Absolutely.
Getting into the studio and tapping into those type of emotions. Like, I'm really used to just getting that energy from a crowd and knowing the direction for a song already, so kind of knowing what to throw in there. So it was just really new. Everything was new. Learning how to sing in certain ways was new for me. And I've been doing something like this for years, you know, so I guess being in a moment where I'm actually still learning was kind of cool, but then weird.
Right?
Because it's like, wow, am I still learning now?
That's the best place.
That is the best. And I was just about to say that's the best place, right? Yep. And what better way to kind of like discover yourself than discover yourself with like new beginnings.
Absolutely.
And right now, I just feel like that's really a thing that's happening, especially in this year in 2023. Like, a lot of people are waking up and realizing there is a lot out in this world that is still available.
For sure.
Even with everything that's happening, even with everything that's going on, like, for those who have goals, for those who have visions, for those who have aspirations, like, there's still time and there's still things available right now.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Right now,
100%.
Absolutely.
It really depends on your new beginning. Like, how do you structure your new beginning?
It's funny that you say that too, because that's like the representation of all us sitting here right now. We're from like 3 different aspects of the media industry, music industry, as a creative, you know, and just going back into what you were saying about it being available for everybody. I just think it's always, for me, it's always back to technology, because technology, you know, before people didn't have it where you just, you know, you had what was in front of you, so you didn't even dream. Now you can see across the world, and I could watch James. Like, I have music my whole life, you know, that I've been creating and everything else, and it wasn't until I heard his song and I was like, yeah, I think I need to release some stuff now too.
It's crazy.
How's James doing that? Or, you know, even you, Henny, like, it's like, you know, finding out what you do, you know, and over there at our heart too, it was like, there's a guy with dreads doing this? Like,
That's true too.
you know what I mean? Like,
No,
That is
let's
true.
like
Corporate
let's even
thugging.
talk about
Yeah.
that.
Corporate
Like,
thugging is what I call it.
actually, like, how was that? Like, even getting into like a corporate world, and
Yeah.
because people don't even talk about that as much. I don't even consider that as much, these days. But was that a thing for you? Like when you got into iHeart? And-
Absolutely. So when I started at iHeart, so I've been there for like 5 years now. When I started there, there was one other black dude in my office in Tampa. I started in Tampa, and my first instinct is this guy's gonna be my mentor. He's just like me. He's been here for a little bit longer. I'm gonna take the insight that he gives me, and I kind of just ran with that. But that's not new to me. I mean, I'm from Connecticut. The hometown I'm from is a very small town. Not many African American individuals. So this is something I've been dealing with for my whole life. So it's just become normal in corporate America. I mean, as you can imagine, there's not as many African American individuals as we'd like. But yeah, it's just been something I've overcome. I don't really think about it. I'm just there to perform and put my best foot forward. So
that word perform though, like that stood out to me. You know what I mean? And the reason why it stood out to me is because, coming from what we do, where we are performing for people, where we even, we're being creative is on the outside of it. I even tell my kids the same thing. I'm like, listen, everything you do, you have to perform.
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to bring the best of who you are. And unfortunately, because of the state of, the way America is, you got to be 10 times better.
Very
Always.
true.
So,
Always.
just hearing you say that and seeing where you were at too, because trust me, I've had my dealings myself.
Oh, yeah.
With that campaign department.
Oh yeah.
It was just like it was a representation thing, and kudos to you for even
Yeah, I
pushing
appreciate
through,
that.
because I
Yeah.
don't think you even see how that can be an inspiration to another black kid who's thinking, you know what, I can't shoot the basketball.
Yep.
I can't rap. But what I can do is I can put these ads together, and get that money.
Put together a media plan.
Put together a media
Exactly.
plan and stuff like
yeah,
that, and then help out those who aren't as skilled in that area. So,
Yep.
100% kudos to you, bro.
Appreciate that.
But when did you first started like working with media? Like how did you even get an interest in that?
Yeah, so I went to college for communications. So I've kind of always been in the realm. I had a radio show in college, so I kind of was always in
that's
that lane.
dope, bro.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So I
didn't even know that.
I kind of been in this lane for a minute
Hey,
now.
okay.
But
okay.
yeah, and then I moved to Tampa. I was in Connecticut for a while, wanted to figure out something next for myself, something new, moved to Tampa, and landed at iHeart. And honestly, the rest is history, bro. To be honest with you, I found something that I was very passionate about, been an athlete my whole life. This is the closest thing to being an athlete. I got to prep for the performance,
Yeah.
I got to perform, and then I got to reap the benefits, right? So
Yeah.
very similar to what we all do.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much the premise of it.
So when do you feel like you ever get to a place in your life where you trust your movement? Like you trust kind of like the direction that you're starting to go into? Because sometimes we get these big ideas and we get these visions in a certain age or at a certain place in our lives where
Yeah.
it looks really, really big. And then when we actually start getting into the grind of things, or I guess just starting to peel away the layers of what we think we want.
Yep.
Like when we finally get to like, how do you trust yourself that you're making the right decisions?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I think a lot of the times the biggest things that we do, and I heard you mention age, is we forget who our inner child was, right? So like, I'm gonna ask a question to y'all real quick, right?
Yeah.
When you were younger, like I'm talking about like elementary school.
Okay.
Right?
Jesus.
Yeah, I know. Don't do that.
You don't want to talk about that,
Right.
huh?
But I'm saying, when they let your
Jeez.
butt out in June for summer, how long was summer to you?
You can ask a person who had to go to Alabama every summer.
But how long was that?
How long was that?
Like you felt like that summer was eternity.
that summer was
felt like it.
forever. But that's what
For
I'm saying.
sure.
Like I was down south though, bro.
Me too. I had to do that too. But I'm
Red
just saying,
dirt.
you felt like it was forever.
Nothing but
right?
grass and sand.
Hey, and that made it way more forever.
It was terrible.
Right. But
Well, I'm not gonna say it was terrible. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible.
Whoever's listening.
who was ever listening?
I loved it.
Yeah.
Every summer as a kid, it was fun.
I only say that because it wasn't, as you got older, right, and life started impeding
Yeah,
on
yeah.
you then realized that summer was only 2 months, right? It's
crazy.
And then that time got short to you.
Yeah.
So you weren't able to accomplish, or you thinking about the end goal of whatever you were doing, right?
Yep.
I always try to live, and a lot of people ask me, why are you like the way you are? And because my kids, they know that I'm the kid also with them.
Yeah.
Because in that, you breed fearlessness, right?
Absolutely.
So being at that age, like I literally, like I always say to myself, because I named my son Ashton, right? His name was Ashton. That was a name that I always liked growing up.
Got you.
So I always kept that name with me, but that's who I responded to as Ashton. So when we get into those moments, like you said, when you got these big ideas, right? Fear of us in what we're doing and time sets us back on that.
Absolutely.
But if we stick close to Ashton, that fear, things happen. You know what I mean? And that's how I always tackle it. It's like, even in my performances, hey man, I'd rather go hard and then offend or hold back and then have to defend.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Like an offense or defense.
Right.
That's kind of what's coming down to.
It was just more so as that for me, and that's where predominantly most of my success has come at. What about you, man?
Man, I mean, for me, if we're going back to inner child, I was always a clown. I mean, just always a clown. If you asked all my friends from elementary school, I was always the guy making jokes. I got in trouble a lot. I always went against the grain, but looking back at the inner child version to me now, it makes sense. In the workplace, I consider myself a disruptor. I do a lot of things that other people don't do. I get a lot of results that other people don't get because I'm doing things that they're not willing to do. So with that, it's just going back to me being a kid, going against the grain, except I'm not getting in trouble this time. I'm getting a reward for it. So that'd be my response to that, ultimately.
That's what's up. For me, I was just always the one that was very easygoing, was friends with everybody, the whole nine. However, I would get quiet if I didn't understand something, but don't let me know it. And don't let me be right. Because if I am correct, it is happening for
what's
you.
your sign, James?
I am going to let you know that is wrong, and I am correct.
What's your sign?
I'm an Aquarius.
That makes sense.
It does not make sense.
It does. I got Aquarius.
Wow. So,
Kids.
when I was growing up, it was that. So, like, for an example, and I know we probably going to have to do another episode to just get into some of the other stuff that we need to get into.
Yeah.
But quick example, I was in school, and this is actually high school, and I had a teacher, and it was a music teacher. Now, mind you, at that time, I already knew music was my thing, right?
Yeah.
So this teacher wasn't as experienced. You know, we get into school systems and things of that, where it's like, okay, cool, we're in it, we're involved in it, but you know, not necessarily be the A-list.
Yeah.
So she was just teaching something wrong, to make a long story short, and I told her that it was wrong. Absolutely wrong, and told her that it was just dumb. And then she said, well, if you know the cliche way, if you feel like you can do a better job, why don't you go up there and teach the class?
Yeah.
And I did. And I did a better job. Just making it sound like, just don't let me know what I know.
You found yourself
don't let
in
me
the
know what I
principal's
know. Don't let me know what I know. But it helped me now in my older just years and living, because it helps me become humble in situations where I may not be the strongest or the sharpest pencil in the cup.
Yep.
And I've learned what that means to just be still for a second and then gain knowledge and gain history and insight on what you're doing. But once you have it, don't allow that to be a thing to where it discourages you from whatever other people may think or whatever other people may say. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just
Absolutely.
stay on that goal and stay on that path. And knowing what I know now is just kind of like that reinsurance that I keep with me every single day. But we have to really sit down and talk about what that feels like as far as trusting yourself. So
Yeah.
That was really cool. I know we have to wrap things up, but thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Artist for Artists podcast. Again, I am James. This is CJ. This is Hennessy, and we are here, man. We're going to be with you guys and on your screens more often, all right? So stay tuned for the next episode. We'll holla at you.
Thank you for listening to the
Artist for Artists
podcast, where we as artists offer an immersive experience through real-life storytelling and views on the music and media industry. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and follow us on social media for updates and additional content at Artist for Artists podcast. And we'll see you next time on Artist for Artists podcast. No cap.